Phase 1 records will not carry over to Phase 2, so when we get down to 2 teams for the championship, then it becomes single elimination. No if necessary game is used in this format. Here's a look at the 10 state champions who are here in Bristol, Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Vermont. Delaware was a last-minute replacement. We'll talk about that some as the week goes on, but they come in from Bear, Delaware, talented and looking to surprise this excellent field of 10. Now, at a glance, as we get you more and more familiar with the Little League Softball World Series, it's ages 10, 11, and 12. We play 6-inning games on 60-foot diamonds, 40 feet the pitching distance, and the softball is 12 inches. Minimum play, minimum mandatory play is a big part of how the managers and coaches make sure that everybody on the roster gets into every single game. We'll keep track of that throughout the week.
This one's going to right. It will get down. Maddie Kottkamp getting the go-ahead to come home. Rolling to first. Jalen Thomas makes the tag. The first time a team from Ohio has won a Little League World Series.
So that's what's on the line. Ohio won last year. New Jersey and Rhode Island get their journey underway here in Bristol, Connecticut, when we come back. On a hot and steamy morning in Bristol, Connecticut, the Little League Softball East region is just about set to get underway. New Jersey will be the road team in Game 1. Rhode Island will be the home team. Robbinsville, New Jersey is known as a softball powerhouse. Under the direction of manager Scott Weiss, this is a town of about 15,000, longtime power from T-ball all the way up through varsity, and these girls are part of what is truly a program, not just a team, but a program, and they come here as equipped as anybody to win the regional championship and to go on to the World Series. There's a look at the diamond as the girls are getting ready for action here this morning. On the mound, you see number 24 is Ava Fairbanks, southpaw who was selected for the USA Softball All-America team. And she is one of 3 Fairbanks on this Rhode Island roster from East Greenwich, Rhode Island. Her sister, Brooke, is her battery mate. Brooke Fairbanks, the younger sister, is the catcher, and their dad, Bruce Fairbanks Jr., is the manager. And the 3 Fairbanks didn't get here to Bristol until late last night because they had a very important family wedding that they were attending yesterday down in Rhode Island. So they made it, missed out on some of the fun, the opening night barbecue and the opening night concert. But the reason everybody here is in Bristol is for softball, and we are set for action with New Jersey leading off. It'll be Caroline Walls, Haley Krebs, and Sorella Gallucci, and we are underway with a called strike from Ava Fairbanks. Ava Fairbanks throws a fastball, a changeup, a screwball, a little rise, a little drop, infield in, guarding against Walls, trying to drop it down. Her pop-up falls untouched in foul ground, and the count is 0-2. Around the infield for the East Greenwich All-Stars, Emma Manzo starts at third, Miggs Neville at shortstop. Her identical twin Kat Neville plays first, and Tegan Bristol plays at second, and those 4 infielders are in on the grass with an 0-2 count. Caroline Walls, not surprisingly, being from the state of New Jersey, roots for the Philadelphia teams. She loves the Eagles, loves the Phillies, loves the 76ers. Takes that pitch high, 1-2. And Caroline says that her special talent, as she dribbles it in front of the plate, Ava Fairbanks doesn't get the out at first. Good hustle out of the box by Caroline Walls. As I was saying, she says her favorite talent, her special talent, is that she can drink any size chocolate milkshake in 1 minute. Well, for her to run like this, I don't think she's had her chocolate milkshake yet today. And so the leadoff batter is aboard. Caroline Walls at first with an infield single, and that'll bring up Haley Krebs. Well, when you talk to these girls, you talk to the coaches and the managers and the chaperones and the parents, the opportunity to come here to Bristol, Connecticut and be part of this East Regional is absolutely the time of their lives. Looks like we're going to have our first video review of the week on the very first play. How about that? And so the schedule for these young girls: up this morning before 7 a.m., breakfast at 7 o'clock. Now, wisely, the organizers here in Bristol decided to cancel the opening ceremonies, which are always a lot of fun, but when you've got the heat and the humidity that they're dealing with today, they decided that it would be better not to have the girls on the field this morning for an extra hour or hour and a half, however long that would take. So they had a nice, easy morning, a little bit of loosening up and warming up, getting ready as we take another look. I think that call is going to stand. Our first base umpire, Keith Ludwig, was on top of it. Home plate umpire Jeff Ross is the one checking the video. Among the things that can be reviewed, it applies only to Little League Softball Regional and World Series televised games, and we are televising on the ESPN networks every single game this year. We are so glad you found us here on ESPN Plus this morning. And not surprisingly, Jeff Ross says safe. So indeed, it is an infield single for Caroline Walls.
Shortstop, number 17, Haley Krebs.
And that'll bring up the shortstop, Haley Stormy Krebs, a 13-year-old at Pond Road Middle School. Pitch up and in, ball gets away, and an easy advancement for Walls down to second. So New Jersey is set up here in the first. Bunt laid down, it rolls foul. And the count is 1-1. Haley Krebs is a huge Mets fan. And she is part of, as we talked about, a family heavily involved in the Robbinsville Renegade softball program. Her older sister, Shay, I don't think it's probably a coincidence that her sister is named Shay, the old Shea Stadium. Family of Mets fans. Her older sister, Shay, played for the 2016 Robbinsville All-Stars that took third place in Portland at the World Series. She takes the pitch out of the zone, and taking third base is Caroline Walls. But this one is fair. Runner from third comes home, and she's safe. A perfectly placed safety squeeze bunt by Haley Krebs gets New Jersey on the board first. And you'll see Walls hesitated to make sure that she could score. And it appeared that if that catch was made, they would have had a play potentially at home plate.
First baseman,
but it's a bunt,
number 4,
RBI single. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Sorella Gallucci. She's one of the 2 pitchers we expect to see prominently for New Jersey. She's not starting in the circle today in this game. She's playing first base. 13-year-old daughter of Jason and Angelique Gallucci. She's got a 15-year-old brother, Jason. Good healthy cut there. The count is 1-1. Ava Fairbanks pitch, fouled straight back and onto the screen. Well, this is a big test for the East Greenwich All-Stars, giving up the run here on the top of the first. They rely on their ace left-hander to shut it down right now. There's a shot up the middle, a base hit. Haley Krebs rounds third. She will score. 2-zip New Jersey. Sorella Gallucci ripped it right up the middle, and there was no hesitation as Krebs was going to score easily. That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Julissa Alvarado. Chases the rise ball. Strike one. Punched over first base, but foul. Just over the glove of Kat Neville. And the count is 0-2. The 0-2. Punched up the middle. Tegan Bristol plays on to first. And there's the first out of the ball game. Advancing to second on the play, Sorella Gallucci. Or no, she must have tagged her on the way by. Let's take another look. Very good. Obviously, I missed that. That's a nifty play by Tegan Bristol at second. So a 4 unassisted, 4-3 double play. Katie Ziliani laid on that fastball, and the count is 1-1. You see Ziliani, who is the pitcher this morning, her favorite athlete, Jenny Finch. And she, like so many of these girls, was drawn to the Robbinsville Little League softball program because of its winning tradition. She's retired. Ava Fairbanks and company responds nicely after giving up a couple of runs. She settles down, gets the double play, and we head to the bottom of the first with New Jersey up 2-0. New Jersey with the 2 spot in the top half of the first inning. How will Rhode Island respond in this opening game of the East Regional of the Little League World Series? Rhode Island is talented. This team from a small community of 13,000, East Greenwich, Rhode Island. Only 13,000 people, yet 80 girls are in this softball program, from T-ball up to the majors, including this group of 10, 11, and 12-year-olds who have themselves in the East Regional for manager Bruce Fairbanks Jr. Bruce is an 8-year volunteer with East Greenwich Little League. He played Little League baseball himself growing up in the neighboring town Warwick, Rhode Island. And his team got to Bristol on the strength of 2 back-to-the-wall wins in districts to beat Warwick North, and then rallied to beat Cumberland in the state opener 11-6 before punching the ticket onto Bristol with a 7-0 clincher over Cumberland. And the responsibility to start things off in the circle on the opposite side, Katie Ziliani. And you see Katie, 5'3". She's 13-year-olds. Again, not surprising that a pitcher would list Jenny Finch as her favorite. Now, one of the keys for Katie, she tells us, she gets the same acai berry boost smoothie from Tropical Smoothie Cafe before each game. But, of course, that is down in Robbinsville, New Jersey. I don't know if she's able to get that exact same smoothie. And with a 10 a.m. start, I'm not sure that was on the menu. But we will see how Katie fares with or without. She's got a fastball, a changeup, and a curve, and you'll see an occasional screwball from her. And she'll be facing Emma Manzo, Ava Fairbanks, Miggs Neville to begin things for Rhode Island.
Emma Manzo.
Manzo's nickname is Dirt Dog. She's never been on an airplane, and she's hoping her first ever flight is next month to Portland, Oregon. And she looks at a pitch high and outside. Two balls and no strikes. There's a called strike from Katie Ziliani. Fouled back, 2-2. Well, Katie not only lists right-handed pitcher Jenny Finch as her favorite, she goes with a left-hander as well, Paige Parker, who of course pitched Oklahoma to back-to-back national championships in 2016 and 17. And other things along with her Berry Boost smoothie. She loves sushi and bacon. So how about that for a mix? I don't think those three things were on the menu here at the Giamatti Center this morning. Her payoff pitch. Strike three call. Manzo retired on strikes.
Pitcher number 24, Ava Fairbanks.
And so here is Ava Fairbanks. Ava, as I mentioned, is the daughter, the 13-year-old daughter of the manager Bruce Fairbanks. Her battery mate is her 11-year-old sister Brooke. They are a dynamite combination. Sharp ground ball up the middle for a single. And Rhode Island has its first base runner of the day. To finish up some scoring in the top half of the first inning, the 2 runs scored on 2 hits and an error on the bunt by Haley Krebs. She reached on a fielder's choice and gets no base hit, and there was an error charged on the third baseman who was covering home plate. Ava Fairbanks steals second base. There's Ava's dad coaching her from the third base box. In the dirt. Nice scoop by the catcher, Abby Weiss. Around the infield for New Jersey, Riley Mikulojak even with the bag at third. Haley Krebs plays short. Caroline Walls is at second, and Sorella Gallucci at first base. Around the outfield, Julissa Alvarado in left, Lily Ondi in center, and Jordan Pepper gets the start in right. Miggs Neville toward the hole at short. Craig got a glove on it, and for the moment, perhaps saves a run. It's an infield single for Miggs Neville. And so Brooke Fairbanks, the cleanup hitter, will step in with runners on the corners. She is the heart and soul of this team. A strong personality, doesn't back down. Runner off from first. Throw down cut off by the shortstop Krebs. And so give Miggs Neville a stolen base. So a base hit by this heart and soul of the team, Brooke Fairbanks, could score 2. And apparently when sisters are together pitching and catching, on occasion I'm told, they need some mediation. and that is not really a surprise. But Ava and Brooke, best of friends, and more importantly here for their team, they are wonderful teammates and very talented. And Brooke says she wants to be an orthopedic surgeon. Has to tiptoe out of the way of the pitch that goes to the backstop, and that allows her sister to score. On the wild pitch, Ava Fairbanks makes it 2-1. Ball got past Abby Weiss, and great heads up and hustle from third base by Ava Fairbanks.
Hey, nice and relaxed, football play.
Ziliani gets back on the rubber into her motion in the 1-1 pitch. Misses off the inside corner. Runner at third is Miggs Neville. Her identical twin sister, Kat Neville, is the next batter. In the dirt again, it's ball 4. Nice job to block it by Abby Weiss. Brooke Fairbanks takes her base, and that'll bring up Kat Neville.
First baseman, number 33, Kat Neville.
Well, Kat was born 1 minute ahead of her sister. Miggs is the younger sister at third base. Kat, short for Catherine, squares to bunt. She lets the pitch go. Snap throw to third base, and her twin sister able to dive back in before the tag from Riley Mikulojak. Again, Kat is short for Catherine. Miggs, M-I-G-G-S, is what everybody calls Margaret Neville. Called strike to Kat. And their mom, Jody, very involved in the East Greenwich softball. Their dad, Patrick, is the EG Little League softball director. Ground to right side. This will score a run. Sister drives in sister, and we are tied at 2. Over to third on the play, Brooke Fairbanks. She represents the potential go-ahead run here in the first inning.
Second baseman, number 6, Tegan Bristol.
So with 2 away, the batter is Tegan Bristol. Well, the coaches say Tegan is the most improved player on the team. Very versatile. She is capable of playing all 8 positions on the field outside of pitcher. She chases a high pitch and slaps it foul up on the screen. Oh-2 pitch, misses. Tegan is the only child of Patrick and Heather Bristol. And yes, it does seem appropriate that a young lady named Bristol is here in Bristol trying to help her team take the lead. Tough play at first. The stretch in time. Sorella Gallucci able to get up there to get the throw from third, where Mikulojak made the play. But Rhode Island rallies with 2 runs of its own on a couple of base hits. A lot of action to start this East Regional in Bristol, Connecticut. We're tied at 2 heading to the second inning. This East region of the Little League World Series off to a flying start. Both New Jersey and Rhode Island put up 2 spots in the first inning. And so now Ava Fairbanks back out in the circle for her second inning of work. You know, we mentioned off the top, among the many features of this tournament is the mandatory play rules. And if you have 12 or fewer players on your roster, 6 consecutive defensive outs and 1 at-bat minimum are mandatory for every single player on the team. If you have 13 or more players on the roster, you've got a 1 at-bat minimum. And so that is part of the strategy that the manager, along with their coach or coaches, try to keep track of and have to keep track of. There are penalties if you are not able or willing to get every single player in for at least the minimum required. And so there is strategy with that. Do you start your best players and then take them out? Do you start who would be typically substitutes so that your better players are on the field in the later innings? Each manager seems to do it a little bit differently. That man knows all about winning softball games. 5 years ago, he led this program to the Little League World Series championship. Five years ago, it was Mark Walsh who was the manager. Scott Weiss was working as the coach. Weiss is now in charge. He's been around this program for 15 years as a volunteer, the last 8 as the VP of softball in Robbinsville. And he has been part of 5 trips to the Little League World Series, 2008, 2010, 2013, then when they won it all in 2014, and again 3 years ago.
Catcher number 7, Abby Weiss.
After the walk, Abby Weiss, the daughter of the manager, stands in. Abby, a 12-year-old catcher, pops up the bunt. It lands, and everybody's safe. Jordan Pepper down to second. And Abby Weiss reaches. That indeed was a bunt single for Abby Weiss.
Special pitch running at first base, number 23, Madison Manning. And now batting
So Madison Manning will pinch run for Abby Weiss. And the first pitch to Liliandi misses upstairs. Bunted foul, and the count is 1-1. So Jordan Pepper is the runner at second. She walked to begin this second inning. And Madison Manning, who hopes to someday attend UCLA, is the pinch runner at first. Not surprisingly, that wonderful school in Westwood, California, would draw the attention of young softball players because, of course, Rachel Garcia and the Bruins won this year's College World Series. Bunt laid down. Manzo throws a strike to first, but the successful sacrifice moves the runners up. Pepper to third, Manning to second. Can't do it much better than Liliandi just did.
Third baseman number 2.
It's a 5-3 putout. And Riley Mikulojak, the third baseman and number 9 hitter this morning, stands in with the third baseman Manzo right on top of her. Hits it on the right side. The run will score. The out recorded. And a second runner comes around, and it's a big play for New Jersey. Well, Manning came in as the pinch runner, and she was out there to run. Beat the tag. Great hustle. So what was a routine RBI ground out to the right side of the infield, thanks to the hustle of Madison Manning, results in 2 runs scoring. And it appears we're going to have another challenge. Robbinsville, New Jersey manager Scott Weiss lets the umpires know he wants to take another look. There was a bobble. So did Kat Neville have possession of that softball? That's the question. Now, if indeed they overturn it and say Riley Mikolojak is safe at first, that won't change the result of the 2-run scoring. This is not about the run scoring. It's about whether the out was recorded. So will we have 2 outs and nobody on, or will it be 1 out and Riley back at first base? So again, let's share with you what can be reviewed. Force outs, tags on base paths, missed bases, and hit batters. Managers can have unlimited successful challenges, but lose ability to challenge after 2 unsuccessful challenges in the first 6 innings, and then 1 in extra innings. And again, these are 6-inning games. And it is overturned. Cat Neville did not secure the softball. Again, it doesn't impact the 2 runs, but what it does is allow for Mikolojak to go back to first. And there's only 1 out in the inning.
Number 1, Caroline Walls.
Caroline Walls, ground ball. And the foul puts everybody back in place. So they gave the error, as expected, to the first baseman, Cat Neville, allowing Mikolojak to reach. 1 hopper to short, fielded by Miggs Neville to her twin sister, and that is the 2nd out of the inning. Mikolojak moves on to second base.
Number 17, Haley Krebs.
That's it, right, pal.
Last inning, Haley Krebs laid down a bunt, reached on the fielder's choice, and drove in a run on the play to get our scoring underway. New Jersey scored twice in the first, 2 more here in the second so far. That's a called strike from Ava Fairbanks. Nice job to lay off the high heat. It's 1-2. Now, Haley is the youngest of 4 kids. Stephen, Ryan, and Shay. And then Haley, the children of Nancy and Steve Krebs from Robbinsville, New Jersey. I'm talking about milkshakes, and on a day like today, why wouldn't you talk about milkshakes? She lists that her chocolate milkshakes from Wawa are the best. And if you've ever been to the Garden State, you know what Wawa is. And why wouldn't you get a chocolate milkshake? Forecast temperatures today and tomorrow here in the state of Connecticut, potentially triple digits. Ball gets away. Good heads up to reach third base by Mikolojak. Popped up on the infield. Pitcher calls, and Ava Fairbanks makes the final out. 2 more runs put on the board as New Jersey retakes the lead over Rhode Island. Back in Bristol, Connecticut, and again, to tell you about mandatory play, remember the rule is specific to each team and is applied based on the number of eligible players present on site in uniform at the beginning of every game. The umpire-in-chief or other individual designated by the game tournament director in consultation with the official scorekeeper shall advise both teams' managers of all players who have not fulfilled their mandatory play requirements. So as the game goes on, Everything is laid out and planned out as best as possible to make sure that by the time the 6th inning rolls around, you are in good shape, making sure everybody's gotten into the game. 4-2 our score. New Jersey leads. Bottom of the 2nd. And the bunt laid down by Tess Mahoney. Nice play to get the out by Sorella Gallucci, the first baseman throwing to the second baseman, Caroline Walls covering.
The left fielder number 10, Madeline Courts.
And so now the left fielder, Madeline Courts. She shows bunt and takes a strike.
Pull your hands back. Pull your hands back. It's the ball. Pull your hands back. Good job.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Nice and relaxed. Good.
Katie Ziliani in her 2nd inning of work trying to put up a goose egg. And she falls behind 2 balls and a strike.
Excellent. Excellent, Madeline.
Courts takes a strike. It's 2-2. And the count goes full. Ziliani issues a walk. Down to first goes Madeline Courts.
The right fielder number 18, Sachi Chan.
Sachi Chan, the number 9 hitter, right fielder to begin this morning's ball game, stands in with 1 out and a runner on. Behind on the high fastball. Chan behind, 0-1. Well, her mom, Atsuko, is from Iwo Jima, Japan, and Sachi, who is half Japanese, half Chinese, speaks Japanese fluently to her mom and other family members on that side of the family. And Sachi's 4-year-old sister, Yoko, is here with mom and dad. She's sitting in the front row. And her big sister shows a good eye. It's 1-2. Her father is Wen Chan. He also here with the iPhone going, making sure to get on videotape. The count go to 2-2. Sachi's a huge Red Sox fan. Big Poppy always has been her favorite. Gets a piece of that one, stays alive, 2-2. And Sachi lists as her favorites flaming hot Cheetos, and I wonder if that changes on a day like today when the temperature is so hot. Line drive, it'll get down for a base hit. Good hustle by Courts to get to second and beat the strong throw from the right fielder, Jordan Pepper. So the 8-9 batters, Courts and Chan, reach base, turn the lineup over, and with 1 out, Rhode Island's in business. Sachi Chan shows a nice stroke going the other way. That'll go back to the leadoff batter, Emma Manzo. She struck out looking in the first, gets a piece of that one, 0-1. See, she's a Red Sox fan too. Emma loves J.D. Martinez, the power-hitting designated hitter for the Old Town team. Well, like so many of these girls, they love making TikToks, but Emma claims to be the best TikTok dancer on the team. Don't know what her teammates would say about that. The young ladies from East Greenwich, Rhode Island. In case you're not sure, East Greenwich is just south of Providence on Greenwich Bay, about a 2-hour drive from where we sit here in Bristol, Connecticut. And so most of the team came up yesterday morning. The coach and his 2 daughters came up last night after a family wedding yesterday afternoon. 2-2 pitch, fouled back. Ziliani's pitch took something off, and the count is 3-2. One out, 2 runners aboard. Rhode Island trailing 4-2. And Manzo stays alive. Well, what fun these girls had last night at the concert that was provided at the pavilion that stands off the first base side of this beautiful ball field. Had a barbecue. Sharp grounder, backhanded nicely by Walls. She gets the out at second base for out number 2. Shan is retired 4 unassisted. And Courts goes to third. Manzo reaches on the fielder's choice. That was a terrific play by Caroline Walls at second base. If that had gotten past her, a run likely would have scored. And so now Ava Fairbanks, who singled and scored a run, stands in. Runner steals second. So Manzo is at second, Courts at third. Bouncer towards short. Krebs with a nice play, and we've got our first scoreless half inning. New Jersey hangs on to a 4-2 lead as we head to the third here in Bristol. New Jersey 4, Rhode Island 2 in this first game of the East Regional of the Little League World Series. Playing softball here in Bristol, Connecticut, as we do every summertime on a steamy hot day, and the substitutions have become fast and furious for East Greenwich, an entirely new outfield for this half inning. Tess Mahoney, Madeline Courts, and Sachi Chan rather are out of the game. And into the game, Olivia Ring in center field. There's a shot to left. Sorella Gallucci with a leadoff single to begin the top of the third. Her second base hit of the morning. She jumped all over that one. Played on a hop by the new left fielder for Rhode Island, Layla Cameron. And out in right field now is Emily Clark. Jaleesa Alvarado pulls it just foul. It's a ball and a strike. Alvarado says that if she were able to have a walk-up song, which unfortunately here we are unable to do that, just too many things going on. But I love her choice. She would want to walk up to home plate to the music of John Fogerty, the classic song Center Field from back in the mid-1980s. Great baseball song. Jaleesa herself is a great Mets fan. Most especially, she loves Jacob deGrom. Nice job to stay alive. The count holds 1-2. And Jaleesa says she loves the TV show Riverdale, the movie Mean Girls, and Italian food. I like it. And the cleanup hitter lines it over the center fielder, Mahoney. Ball still rolling. Gallucci turns third. She's going to try to score. No, she goes back. Now she goes again. They've got the runner at second caught. All hands are safe. Alvarado with an RBI double. Gallucci coming all the way around from first base to score. What a shot by Julissa Alvarado.
Number 15, Katie Ziliani.
Katie Ziliani fouls the first pitch out of play. 5-2 New Jersey. The girls from Robbinsville, the Robbinsville Renegades, have scored in each inning so far. Ava Fairbanks pitching to her younger sister, Brooke Fairbanks. With nobody out and a runner at second, she gives up a line drive that's just inches foul. That would have scored another run. Well, the middle of this New Jersey batting order is dangerous. Gallucci, Alvarado, and Ziliani we're seeing here in the third inning, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Scott Weiss, the 15-year Little League volunteer in Robbinsville. Robbinsville's a suburban central New Jersey town of about 15,000. And from what I'm told, if you're looking for something good to eat, go to Di Lorenzo's Tomato Pies for their pizza. Ziliani works the walk. So the first 3 batters have reached. That'll bring up Jordan Pepper. Left-handed batter who spells her first name with a Y, Jordyn. And the coolest place Jordan says she has traveled to is Disney World. Of course, that was before coming to Bristol that she filled out that questionnaire. But the happiest place on earth actually is listed by a number of the girls on these 10 rosters as their favorite spot to have gone. It's funny when you're from Central Jersey, just like if you are from the state of Connecticut, you find the rooting interests are usually divided. If you're here in Connecticut, growing up here, you're either a Red Sox fan or a Yankees or Mets fan because geographically you're in the middle. Pepper flies out. Nice job by Cameron to make the catch. 1 away. But for these girls from Robbinsville, New Jersey, you're right there in the middle of the state of New Jersey, so do you root for the Phillies, then the Eagles and the 76ers, or do you root for the New York, New Jersey teams? Now for Pepper, she leans Philly. She's an Eagles fan and a Carson Wentz fan. Abby Weiss fouls the first pitch off. And Abby, leans the other way. She goes Yankees and Aaron Judge. Abby's a 12-year-old at Pond Road Middle School. She looks at a strike. Abby singled her first time up and then was removed for a pinch runner, but again with the mandatory play rules, you can come back into the game after being replaced in that circumstance. Abby is a terrific catcher. Little dribbler, dies in the grass. Fairbanks has no play and the bases are loaded. A swinging bunt. Moves Alvarado to third and Ziliani down to second. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up for New Jersey. Ava Aldarelli.
Ava Aldarelli.
Ava is an 11-year-old outfielder getting her first opportunity. Good swing, fouled back on the screen. It's 0-2. Well, almost every single one of these girls will tell you they're having the time of their lives here this week in Bristol. Staying in the dormitories with all their teammates, best girlfriends. Nice job by Brooke Fairbanks to keep that pitch in the dirt within arm's reach and not allow Alvarado to try and score from third. Aldarelli lays off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. For Robbinsville, New Jersey, 5 runs on 6 hits and no errors. Strike 3 for the second out. And Madison Manning, who we saw pinch run in the second and score, will now bat in the number 9 spot. Grounder to short. Miggs Neville makes the play. But New Jersey tacks on another run. They score a run on 3 base hits and leave the bases loaded. 5-2 Jersey. 5-2 our score in this first game of the Eastern Regional. Here in Bristol, Connecticut, it's the Little League Softball World Series opening day. 10 teams here in Connecticut. 1 will survive and advance. Championship game scheduled for Thursday, and the temperatures then shouldn't be what they are now. Today and tomorrow, the forecasters are saying 100 degrees is possible, and so those with umbrellas in hand are pretty smart as far as I'm concerned. It is hot and steamy, even though it's, just barely 11 a.m. here in the Eastern time zone. Hey, I like the Montreal Expos hat. Miggs Neville, retired by Caroline Walls. 1 away in the bottom of the third. That'll bring up Brooke Fairbanks, who walked and was stranded
Brooke Fairbanks
in the first inning. Sharply hit ground ball. Tough chance for Krebs. Nice play. Very quickly, 2 away. Katie Ziliani in the circle for New Jersey seems to have found her groove. Couple of quick outs. And that is a long throw, not an easy play for Haley Krebs. And here is Kat Neville, the twin of Miggs. And again, remember, Kat is 1 minute older than Miggs. Mom Jody had Kat first and Miggs second, and I'm guessing that is never lost on the two of them. Who the older sister is, who the younger sister is. Kat with a healthy cut.
Head to the ball, see the ball. See the ball.
I think it's safe to say that Kat Neville has a cute sense of humor. She lists her favorite actor as the Cookie Monster, her favorite book as Cat in the Hat. Swing and a miss. Very quick inning by Katie Ziliani. She retires. Rhode Island in order. We're through 3 with New Jersey on top by 3. Due to the oppressive heat here in Bristol, Connecticut, Little League is taking a 5-minute break for the players and the umpires to get some water and just get out of the sun for a little bit. So we've got a couple of minutes to recap for you what we have seen so far in this first game of the East Regional between New Jersey and Rhode Island. New Jersey scored twice in the first inning, twice in the second, and one more run in the third. And this Robbinsville, New Jersey, middle of the lineup especially, is really, really dangerous. Sorella Gallucci had an RBI single in the first inning. Jaleesa Alvarado has had an RBI double. They've played small ball. They've played power ball. And so far, Scott Weiss's team, which just 5 years ago won the 2014 Little League Softball World Series, has shown that it has come here to Bristol with hopes and designs of getting back to Portland, Oregon as the winner of this region. It begins with local leagues, as you saw there. Move on to districts. These are all state champions, all 10 state champions here, including the girls from New Jersey. And you wonder why somebody has their laundry hanging on the fence in the New Jersey dugout. Well, there's a good reason for that. That was the dress that 5 years ago, Scott Weiss's daughter, who at the time was 7 years old, it's a Hello Kitty dress, she wore out in Portland when her older sister and her teammates were winning the World Series. And so fast forward 5 years later, Abby Weiss is no longer that little 7-year-old girl who her dad called then a monster, with a smile and a wink. He said the ice cream vendors out in Portland knew her daughter by name at the end of those 2 weeks. She'd been out to Portland twice consecutive years to see her big sister, but now little sister is the starting catcher. And so for good luck, they bring to every single game this year that old dress, the Hello Kitty dress, that she wore when she was little. And so all of her teammates have bought in. They all touch it for good luck. And her dad, the manager, said that he doesn't really trust the players. They wanted it in the dorms last night. And Dad said, no. Something will happen to it. It'll disappear. Dad's holding on to it. So Dad, the manager, Scott Weiss, a little superstitious perhaps. It has worked out very, very well to have that garment hanging in the dugout at every single game this year. And they're hoping that it makes its way back to Portland along with the Weiss family for what has become nearly an annual event. Again, Robbinsville has 5 times in the last 15 years been to Portland. And yes, the girls enjoying this 5-minute break for water. Gives us an opportunity to tell you about the local league selecting all-stars. Each local league worldwide may enter a team. So step 1 is the district tournament, then the section tournament, and then each of the 10 teams we're seeing here this week are state tournament champions. This is the regional tournament, and then of course it all will come together next month out in Portland, Oregon. And you know, this East region is actually, it encompasses New Hampshire and Washington, D.C. But in softball, those two, well, one state and one city or district is not represented. They don't have softball at that level to be able to field teams that would come and compete here. So when we're back here in a couple of weeks for the Little League Baseball Regional, the 12 are split up 6 and 6. New Hampshire is represented and D.C. is represented. But in softball, it's just the 10 teams. And so it's a modified double elimination round-robin tournament where we will have one survivor on Thursday. This is the first of 4 games today. Next one is scheduled to begin at 1 o'clock, and then so on throughout the afternoon and evening. Fortunately, we do not have rain forecast for today, but we do have thunderstorms as a possibility over the course of the weekend and into Monday. Before later in the week it looks a little bit nicer. But hot and steamy today, hot and steamy tomorrow. And that is why we've just had a 5-minute water break, allowing for Ava Fairbanks and the rest of her teammates to catch their breath. That is Tegan Bristol, the second baseman for New Jersey. And for Ava Fairbanks, she has had her hands full against this potent New Jersey team that scored 2 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 5 runs on 6 hits. Rhode Island has committed a couple of errors. And so for fear of falling into the losers bracket, Ava Fairbanks needs to put a 0 up here in the 4th inning. And after the break, all sorts of time for everybody to get loose and make sure they're ready to go. I wouldn't think on a day as hot as this, it would take long to get loose after just a 5-minute break. And it allows the girls in front of the New Jersey dugout to do a little dancing to the music that's playing over the PA system here. Like I said, these girls are having fun. A lot of dancing last night at the opening concert and barbecue. There's a band of teenagers who played various musical instruments, having fun, playing a little rock and roll, and the girls were getting into it. And by the way, I understand they are served pizza every single night. They're served 3 meals a day in the cafeteria, but there's pizza every single night for the girls. And we are back underway, top of the 4th, as Ava Fairbanks misses with her first pitch. Caroline Walls, the leadoff hitter, number 1. She's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored in the first inning. And you'll notice her teammates and the coach are calling her Carol. Her name is Caroline, but they like to call her Carol. Caroline drops a single into center field. She's the table setter for New Jersey, and she sets the table here in the 4th.
Number 17, Haley Krebs.
So with Caroline Walls at first base, Haley Krebs, the shortstop, lays down a beautiful bunt. Ava Fairbanks has the throw that's late. All hands are safe. Can't do it much better than that for Haley Krebs. Boy, she deadened that ball beautifully, did Haley Krebs. The second time she's reached on a bunt. In the first inning, it was a fielder's choice. And on that one, it should be a bunt single. Indeed it is. So now the number 3 hitter, Sorella Gallucci. She's a perfect 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, RBI, and a run scored. Emma Manzo, the third baseman, way in on the grass. Line drive, base hit towards the gap in left center. Walls will score easily. Around to third is Krebs. 6-2 New Jersey. It's a perfect 3 for 3 morning so far for Sorella Gallucci, the slugging first baseman. 3 singles, including that line shot toward the gap for an RBI single. Alvarado pops it up behind the plate. Not a lot of room there, and so it falls out of play. Brooke Fairbanks gave it a look, but the catcher had no chance. Hot day to be wearing all that gear. But they say Brooke is the heart and soul of the team. She's not the oldest. They've got the runner caught up at third. Sliding in, though, under the tag, Haley Krebs. So a double steal pulled off successfully. Gallucci took off from first. The throw went to third. Krebs read it beautifully and able to sneak home for another run. So now the infield comes in with Gallucci at third. Well, New Jersey is showing its offense. There's a shot that is fouled that two-hopped up against the fence in the left field corner. This is your cleanup hitter, Julissa Alvarado. What a bullet. Alvarado has grounded into a double play and then had an RBI double last inning. She strikes out swinging for out number 1 here in the 4th. That's the second strikeout for Ava Fairbanks, the terrific left-handed pitcher.
Number 15, Katie Ziliani.
For Rhode Island. And here is Ziliani. One hopper bounces away, and in is Gallucci standing up. Third run of the inning on the wild pitch.
Ew, I hate that. Just one, so then you get in a rundown. And then the other thing. And then you got in a rundown.
As you saw the replay, the catcher Brooke Fairbanks had no chance whatsoever. Tried to deaden the ball, but it was an easy chance for Sorella Gallucci to come in and score. The 8th run of the day. Another one in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Katie Ziliani. 0 for 1. She drew a walk in the 3rd. Katie Ziliani's got an older brother named Anthony. He's 15 years old. Their mom and dad, Cheryl and Greg. That's up the middle. And with the drawn-in infield, Miggs Neville had no play. It's the 4th single of the inning. Katie Ziliani with a beautiful stroke.
Jordan Pepper.
And it's not like these hits here in the 4th inning have been dinks and dunks. They have stung the ball one after another, and actually Julissa Alvarado, who struck out, has hit the ball the hardest with that foul ball deep down the left field line before going down on strikes. That'll bring up the right fielder, number 6 hitter, Jordan Pepper. The Robbinsville Renegades on top 8-2, 8 runs on 10 hits. Trying to get themselves into the winner's bracket in this first game of the Bristol East Regional. Slow roller to short, able to get the lead runner at second base. Ziliani's retired. Nice job by Miggs Neville and Tegan Bristol to get the second out of the inning. Pepper reaches on the fielder's choice.
Number 7, Abby Weiss.
And here is Abby Weiss. Pop up, foul ground. It's gloved by Kat Neville. But 3 more runs on 4 hits put on the board. The girls from Robbinsville, New Jersey, on top 8-2. To catch the excitement of the Little League World Series softball tournaments, or to find a Little League softball program in your neighborhood, visit littleleaguesoftball.org. Good look at the primary field here at the Bart Giamatti Little League Leadership Training Center in Bristol, Connecticut on a hot and steamy Saturday morning. They have multiple fields. It's a whole complex here that for decades has been the home to this region's Little League softball postseason play, both for the boys and the girls. The boys, actually it's co-ed, boys and girls will play baseball together, but primarily the boys will be here in a couple of weeks for their regional tournaments. And the girls are here from now through Thursday. Leading off the bottom of the 4th, a nice running catch by Julissa Alvarado. Tegan Bristol is retired. Had her well played. Bristol thought she had a chance for a hit. Instead, she's retired for the first out and a nice running grab by Alvarado. Katie Ziliani, after giving up 2 runs in the first inning, has settled in nicely in the circle. Olivia Ring getting her first plate appearance. And that's Olivia with an A. A-L-I-V-I-A. Olivia Ring. Pop up to right. Pepper's under it. Out number 2. Well, among the rules that the coaches and the managers, as we take another look at what turned out to be a routine play for Pepper, because New Jersey has only 11 players on its roster, they are only allowed to have a manager and 1 coach in uniform in the dugout or on the field. So Tom Walls, while he is here, he is not able to be in the dugout. Scott Weiss is the manager. Steve Krebs is the coach. For Rhode Island, since they have 12 players on the active roster, they are able to have a full complement of coaches, a manager and 2 coaches. Bruce Fairbanks, Mark Manzo, and Jeff Cameron. And Jeff Cameron's daughter is the batter for the first time. Grounded to third. And that'll do it. Layla Cameron grounds out on a nice play by the third baseman. 8-2 Jersey. It's Little League World Series softball regional time. This is the East Regional in Bristol, Connecticut. Doug Sherman with you here on ESPN Plus on a hot and steamy morning. This is game number 1 of an event, a tournament that will run through Thursday, where one of these 10 teams will advance on to the Little League World Series out in Portland, Oregon next month. 8 runs on 10 hits, no errors for New Jersey. 2-3-2 for Rhode Island, which has not scored since the first inning. Katie Ziliani, the pitcher for New Jersey, has done a marvelous job since giving up those 2 runs in the first. Now her teammates looking to tack on some runs. Liliandi, the center fielder, lifts it into left center field. Cameron and Ring come together, and it's the center fielder Ring who makes the grab. Number 55, Olivia Ring, covering a lot of ground out there. And so now Madison Manning rips a sharp ground ball that's just foul. Nice diving attempt by Emma Manzo. Well, Madison Manning stands 5'4". She's a 13-year-old at Pond Road Middle School, the daughter of Daniel and Kimberly Manning. And I wonder if it's just a coincidence that her favorite football player is Eli Manning. She's a Jersey girl, and Eli has been the only Giants quarterback she's ever known. Madison bounces it back to the pitcher. Ava Fairbanks able to get the second out.
Number 1, Caroline Walls.
Back to the top of the order for Caroline Walls. And again, the youngster her teammates and coaches like to call Carol. He's put together a terrific game. Caroline is 2 for 3, couple of singles, 2 runs scored. She scored in the first, scored in the fourth. And number 1 goes down for a quick conference with her manager and third base coach, Scott Weiss. High fly to left, Layla Cameron under it. And that's a 1-2-3 inning, the first of the game by Ava Fairbanks. 8-2 Jersey on top of Rhode Island. We've told you about the Weiss family, the manager for New Jersey, Scott Weiss, and his youngest child, Abby, who's the catcher, wearing number 7 during the warm-ups you see there. She wears number 7, as her older sister has always worn number 7, and it's not by coincidence, because their dad, Scott, while he wasn't born to be able to see Mickey Mantle play, he is a huge Yankees fan, and Mickey Mantle is his guy. And so at the Weiss home in Robbinsville, New Jersey, there has always been a big picture of Mickey Mantle up. And the girls, along with their dad, have gotten an appreciation for the Mick. And so they wear number 7, just as Dad would have loved to see it. And they love to see what's on the scoreboard right now. New Jersey leading Rhode Island 8-2 in this first game of the East Regional. Emily Clark getting her first opportunity to hit in the bottom of the 5th inning for Rhode Island. Remember, these are 6-inning games, so Rhode Island has only 6 outs remaining. Now only 5 outs remaining, trailing by 6 runs. Now back to the top of the order, Emma Manzo. Emma's 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning. Lifts it to shallow right. Coming on is Pepper for a terrific running grab. I'll tell you what, Katie Ziliani, who is one of 2 outstanding pitchers New Jersey has on the roster. The other is Sorella Gallucci. Katie's done a great job. She struggled a little bit in the 1st inning, gave up a pair of runs. But since that time, she has been outstanding. In fact, she's only given up 1 hit since that 1st inning and 3 total. And as I look at my box score, Katie Ziliani, she has retired the last 9 she has faced. Ava Fairbanks with a bullet to center field. That snaps that streak. A 2-out single, and the second base hit of the day for Ava Fairbanks.
Number 8, Margaret Neville.
So now the number 3 hitter in the lineup for Rhode Island, Miggs Neville. She plays shortstop. She singled and scored in that 1st inning. Runner takes off. Ava Fairbanks slides, and that's a stolen base. Her 2nd stolen base of the day. She singled and stole 2nd in the 1st and came around to score eventually on a wild pitch. And Rhode Island's other run came on an RBI ground out in that 1st inning by Kat Neville that scored her twin sister Miggs. And this is Miggs, given name Margaret. Nobody calls her Margaret, though, that I know of. Everybody calls her Miggs. Chopper towards short. Krebs, long throw. Pulls Gallucci off the bag, and everybody's safe. We have seen Haley Krebs make a couple of very strong throws from the hole to get outs today. Couldn't do it that time. Goes as an infield single, moving Fairbanks to 3rd. Miggs Neville at 1st. And here is Brooke Fairbanks. Just trotting down to 2nd is Miggs Neville with a stolen base. So a big at-bat here with 2 out. A single could cut the lead down to 4. This has been a 2-out rally. Ziliani got the first 2 outs very quickly, but then consecutive singles by Ava Fairbanks and Miggs Neville. And we've got runners on 2nd and 3rd for Rhode Island. Off-speed pitch had Brooke Fairbanks out in front, and she is down on strikes. Big punch out by Katie Ziliani. She's in control 8-2 as we head to the 6th. The journey to the Little League World Series starts in T-ball. Visit littleleague.org/T-ball to learn how to give the youngest Little Leaguers the opportunity to have fun and learn the game. Most of these girls began at the T-ball level. They are now In the deep end of the pool, so to speak, these are the best 10, 11, and 12-year-old players in the East region. They come together for this week of fun and competition in Bristol, Connecticut. One of the teams is going to move on to Portland to the Little League World Series. And at the moment, it certainly looks like New Jersey is going to get its first win at the expense of Rhode Island. We start the 6th and final inning unless Rhode Island can come back in the bottom of the 6th and tie it or win it. Ava Fairbanks facing Haley Krebs to begin the 6th. It'll be Krebs, Gallucci, and Alvarado, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters scheduled up for New Jersey. Krebs has had herself a productive game. She has bunted twice and reached base both times, once on a fielder's choice, another on a single. She's driven in a run, scored twice. And again, her older sister Shay played for the 2016 Robbinsville All-Stars that took 3rd place at the Little League World Series. Haley trying to follow her big sister's lead to get out to Portland. She says she's a big Mets fan. Jacob deGrom, but also Ahmed Rosario and Pete Alonso, the polar bear. And Haley also has her eye on becoming a sportscaster. She would love to become the play-by-play voice of the New York Mets and push Gary Cohen aside someday. That was a bullet, but right into the glove of Emma Manzo. Allowed out. Krebs is retired. Can't hit it much harder than that. And you can see why the infielders wear those face masks.
Number 4,
That was a
Sorella
screaming
Gallucci.
line drive. One away, Sorella Gallucci. One of the great benefits of being in the East Regional that is held each year here in Bristol, Connecticut, it is, of course, the home of ESPN. It's on the other side of town, the sprawling campus, and so each of these girls is going to get the opportunity to tour ESPN and go see the studios and sit on the set and take pictures and meet some Sports Center anchors who might be around. And so 2 of the 10 teams are not scheduled to play today. Pennsylvania's instead, right about now, they're supposed to be over at ESPN headquarters getting the grand tour. The team from Delaware, from Bear, Delaware, was arriving today. And so they're going to try and schedule their trip over to ESPN when their playing schedule allows over the next few days. But depending on whether you win or lose and go into the winner's bracket or the loser's bracket, that will dictate when you get to visit ESPN. Gallucci with another foul ball. Count holds 1 and 2. Gallucci's had a perfect game at the plate. 3 times up, 3 singles, 2 runs scored, couple of RBIs. She's stolen a base. High fly. Cameron comes in and couldn't squeeze it. It's a hit. 4 for 4. Sorella Gallucci is aboard one more time. But boy, Layla Cameron laid out, and for a moment it looked like she was going to hang on to it. Almost a web gem, almost a Sports Center top 10 nominee, but instead it's the 4th base hit of the game for Gallucci. And here is the power hitting Julissa Alvarado, the cleanup hitter for Robbinsville, New Jersey. Line drive, right side, gloved by Bristol. And the double play is completed.
Number 15.
Now check that.
Ziliani.
I thought I saw the umpire say out. He, I guess, was signaling that the out was made on the line drive. Gallucci able to get back to first, so the inning continues. Alvarado retired on the line out. And here is Katie Ziliani. Now how about perhaps the injustices of softball? Krebs and Alvarado have hit hard line drives. They were retired. The fly ball by Gallucci was a base hit. On the routine ground ball, Katie Ziliani is retired. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Rhode Island needs 6 to tie and keep the game alive. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning with New Jersey on top of Rhode Island 8-2, and the girls from Robbinsville, New Jersey, the Renegades, have been leaning heavily on their starting pitcher, Katie Ziliani, trying to close out a complete game effort. She allowed a couple of runs on 2 hits in the first inning. Since that time, only 2 hits in addition and no runs. Kat Neville, Tegan Bristol, and Olivia Ring scheduled to bat in the bottom of the 6th. Kat Neville knocked in a run in the first inning with a ground down. She struck out in the 3rd. Kat Neville claims to be 5 feet 5 inches tall. Her twin sister Margaret says her listed height is 5'3". And they are the first base and shortstop combo, and that is a bullet into center field. Cut off by Andi. A leadoff single to begin the bottom of the 6th. A lot of that deep crowd. She has a powerful left-handed bat. Neville's first hit, trying to set the table for a huge rally in this final half inning. Tegan Bristol looks at a ball. Tegan grounded to third, flied out to left. Favorite athlete, as you see, Alex Morgan. Good time to be an Alex Morgan fan, as Team USA Soccer has been a big story all summer long. Bouncer back to the pitcher. Ziliani will go to second for 1. And they get the force on Neville. Bristol reaches on the fielder's choice. And now Olivia Ring will get her second plate appearance. She came on to replace Tess Mahoney in the 4th inning and flied out to right field. Ball gets away, and Bristol takes second. Called strike. 2-1. I like Olivia's choice in favorite movies there. We just saw it's The Wizard of Oz. Back when I was a kid, it was played once a year on, you just had the 3 channels back in the 1970s, and you always looked forward to it. In this day and age, I imagine Olivia can watch it on a loop. She can watch it over and over and over again. Ziliani's pitch popped up on the infield. Ziliani with the easy catch for the second out. So East Greenwich, Rhode Island is down to its final out.
Number 14, Layla Cameron.
It's Layla Cameron. She herself was a substitute in the fourth inning. Ziliani able to gather and complete the play. 8-2 your final score. New Jersey goes into the winner's bracket, and we'll be back to wrap things up right after this. Game one is in the books here in this East Regional in Bristol, Connecticut. New Jersey takes it 8-2 over Rhode Island. The winning pitcher, Katie Ziliani, a complete game 5 hitter. She allowed 2 runs. They both came in the first inning. Katie had a little bit of wildness early, a couple of walks, but then she settled down, finished with 4 strikeouts to pick up her team and move them into the winner's bracket for head coach Scott Bice. And there's number 15. And now they get the rest of the day off on this steamy morning and soon to be afternoon in Bristol. So they had to get up a little bit earlier perhaps than others, but I'm sure they're thrilled to have gotten up and played the first game and get that win. And they had plenty of hitting stars, scoring 2 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Sorella Gallucci was perfect at the plate. 4 for 4, 4 singles, couple of RBIs, 2 runs scored. Big RBI double by Julissa Alvarado came in the third inning, scoring Gallucci. And that was that. Strong start to the week for New Jersey. We'll say so long for now. The rest of this regional in Bristol coming up on ESPN+. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at 1 o'clock for more softball action.